2025. How I read my cards. Initially, I may go through just the initial cards that are sort of your major arcana, and then we'll read the clarifiers following that. And then I'll give you sort of a synopsis at the end. This may or may not be your story. Some of your timelines, of course, need to be considered here. Some may be dealing with the energies currently. Some of you may be moving into this energy, others yet to fall into this, but for the time frame, it's roughly in around June. So what I'm looking at here in terms of general energies, big energies, then of course I've got some over here that relate to more along the lines of your finances, but we'll kind of get the general overtone of everything. So we all know the Fool card to be that card of starting something new, trying something, that is a little out of our general range of things. So there's something here along that line with the Fool card. So I would still say this is you doing fairly well, though, month of June, just overall, the message, just because I do have the Fool card as the main card out. We also have the Lovers card, so there could be some kind of a major decision there as well. We'll know through to the other cards further out with the clarifiers, and we have the World card. These are big major arcana. So June, I would say, has some fairly significant changes for you in this period. I would still say this is you kind of reclaiming something, reclaiming your power, or at least grappling with old mental cages. The reason why I say that, bottom of the deck is the Eight of Swords. So there's something here about this month is allowing you to move beyond that mental entrapment with the Eight of Swords. So it's really good energy here, and it does speak to, you kind of embodying everything, and then there's more of a forward expression of things. So I would say overall, you're really well in the month of June. I feel like we all had the Ace of Pentacles come out here as well. So I feel like you're initiating some, powerful ideas, not just with that are the Ace of Pentacles means there's some practical ideas here, but we also had the Ace of Wands that came out here. Sorry, I've got them a little bit kind of mixed up in a cluster here, but the Ace of Wands came out. So this is also an indicator that there's a lot of ideas coming through in the month of June. I feel like you are taking some courageous leadership steps toward that anyway. Steps toward, when I say leadership, doesn't mean you're necessarily going into a position of extreme power, but it can also be just simply for others, where you're moving into a position where you're actually taking charge of your life. And I say that because we've got the Magician out here, and we also have some other cards that kind of fall in around King of Wands. That's inspired action. Definitely speaks to visionary energy, that kind of thing, and it's very resilient energy that's coming through here as well because of that Seven of Wands. So I feel like overall, even with the Page of Pentacles, which is sort of in another section here with the Page of Wands, there's a lot of new little steps here that are being, that you're kind of exploring. So you're moving forward in some way, just in some kind of small, curious sort of steps. And again, there's the Page of Pentacles as well as the Page of Wands. It is, of course, a clarifier to the Lovers, but overall, what I see here is that, you're building independence and self-worth through some very small incremental steps in the month of June. Very resilient energy, like I said. Now, I would actually holding you back in this month because the Eight of Swords was at the bottom of the deck. This is really where you're starting to overthink things. There's some old limiting beliefs that may be coming up here. And again, there's just you sensing a fear of repeating past patterns. Maybe you're being misjudged, but there's some level of confusion between and the alignment of whatever it is that you're doing. So are you trying to force something or flowing, letting it flow? Something along that line. So this is that card of all or nothing thinking. It's that catastrophic thinking. It's, things around money, love, worth, whatever it is. It's, thought distortion. So basically, it's when you hear something of the self-talk saying, I must succeed or I'm doomed or something doesn't work. I failed, so I'm going to fail again. It's that kind of negative self-talk that comes up with this card. But again, how you sort of tame that down is all of the, asking the questions for evidence. Is that true 100% of the time? Was it something that, just because a friend told you this, does it mean that Was it just something that was fleeting in the moment? Would there be something that affected their mood or the way that they communicated that would, target you in some way? Whatever. I mean, but either way, it's like, would you tell a friend those things? If you wouldn't tell that to yourself as well. So it's things like that. Is it belief or is it fact, basically, is what I'm getting at. I'm going to say that because there's so many cards here, like I said, that kind of speak to some kind of a new journey here. We do have, sorry, I'm just looking for we do have energy here of, very independent sort of, this is more along the career aspect here. But as far as the financial forecast, I would definitely say that you're undergoing some kind of big financial, rearrangement of things. So there might be a sudden event or something that's a bit shocking that kind of, you know, breaks you away from some kind of money stagnation. So I would say that there is some kind of balance still in this month, but because of the death card, it's like you're dealing with some aspect of money differently. There's a big change around the finances in the month of June. So that could be that there's more money coming in, could be around, maybe money from legacy or from, money set aside for family or whatever. But the Ten of Pentacles does indicate this is something of a financial opportunity that definitely has long-term sort of potential growth to it. So I would say all the pages here, you could expect small amounts of money first, and then it just becomes, exponential growth, by late July and then August. It's like things starting to increase. What I feel like you're doing right in this month is that you're seeking fairness and justice, truth. You're staying aligned with your path, your belief systems, and you are definitely willing to, let go of the old mold. This is the death, and of course we also have the Tower card in here as well, further back. So you're not afraid to let go of the things that weren't working. Hi there, Shark. But I do feel like this is releasing the old financial structure in lieu of something more favorable or something that is, more in alignment with the things that you are trying to set up for yourself in the future. So I feel like you're still staying open to these new beginnings, especially with the Death card and the Fool. But the Fool was the main card out, and the Justice was the main card out. So lots of major arcana, big shifts overall. And I definitely feel like, these are the big players out here, so that does mean that a lot of the cards that follow, the really positive ones, but the ones that are a little further out are the Five of Pentacles. So it's kind of that scarcity mindset that's part of the obstacle that's still playing out a little bit in this month. But I do feel like there's energy here that kind of switches this out to, fast communication. Hi, Shark. No, I believe in God too. I believe in like a version of God, nothing to do with the demons and devils and all this other stuff that people kind of out there. I am more of a free spirit that way. I really do believe in, I mean, there's nobody's going to be able to prove any of it anyway, unless there's some, incredible divine thing that comes through. All we can do is be the best version of ourselves in this lifetime. But I definitely feel like you have to, show up in the best, in the way that you would want to live your life out. And what that is, be the best person you can be, because if that's the version of the world that you want to see, that's how you have to show up. And that's how I do. So yeah, I know it's maybe a little wordy, but anyway, but the Eight of Wands tells me there's quick communication that's coming in here, after this level of, scarcity mindset and feeling like something wasn't enough financially, this kind of thing, and holding, all of this fear, inner conflict about that financial area. But I definitely feel like, with the Wheel of Fortune, there's something here that tells me there's a big change, and it's more of a fortunate change. Despite the fact that we've got the Five of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, I would still say there's still there that you're kind of jealousy, there's battling mindsets, that kind of thing might still be at play, but you're finding a way to balance this out with the Temperance card and the Justice card. Of course, the Justice came out as the main card, and this is also the Libra, and so Libra, Gemini, Aquarius could be dealing with as well. But I definitely feel like overall this is some inner conflict about finances, self-worth, that kind of thing. I feel like in June, maybe the first or second week, there is some level of pressure that builds. internal stress, internal dialogue, external blocks, feeling stuck. But that quickly changes. Like I said, it goes from the Five of Pentacles, and that quickly changes, and then that quickly changes again, to something more that balances out. So I feel like there's unexpected messages, probably at least a couple of them here, around the finances, where something is a little bit more of a unexpected sort of time frame. Okay, sorry to see you go there, Shark. But yeah, for sure, check back. I hope to see you guys again. The Temperance is also, again, that card. Well, I want to say sometime in about the mid-June, week 3, there might be a shift that occurs where there's also a small financial offering or something that came through, because we had the pages in here. Um, like I said, the Page of Cups, some kind of vacation as well, and again the Four of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. So there's definitely some money that is coming through here in this month, and I do feel like you are more empowered in this space. And I feel like this helps you around your career or your identity as well, because Magician kind of speaks to that energy as well, around our identity and being capable and having, a way to move things forward in the world. Now, the World, of course, is that card of some huge momentum, not only with the World card, but this is the main card out. And also we had that Wheel of Fortune. So I feel like emotionally and materially, there's some big changes. Of course, that also was followed up with the Eight of Wands. So there's something here that's starting to integrate, because the World card is integrating lessons, having understood something, feeling stronger, especially feeling stronger because of the Justice card, a lot of truth, a lot of foundation. And we also have the card of Temperance, so a lot of balance coming in there. There was also the card of the Strength, which is, showed up with the, where did I put it? Yeah, Strength card. It came with this first batch here. So, just overall, I would say moving in this new direction, it's very positive. You're transitioning away from things that, were where there wasn't a lot of clarity, because I see a lot of balance. I see a lot more understanding of what's up ahead. I feel like there's a lot more hope. No, this is just the clarifier. There's a lot more hope. There's a lot more, even if all the external problems aren't completely resolved, I feel like you can see the way through now. Like, this is also representing Leo energy. Strength card is also a Leo energy, King of Wands. But there's a lot of personal power, and there's a lot of visibility coming in for you. So with that Temperance card as well, we also have a level of new beginnings. Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, like there's a lot here that's coming through for new beginnings. Death, Tower, these are transformative. So is the World card. These are big changes. This is also kind of rebirth energy. The scale of justice, something is going on here where you're starting to balance out the karma. Anything legal, these things are all balancing out. There's more of an energetic balancing or rebalance. And I do feel like you could also be dealing with a Gemini energy here, the Lover's card coming out as the main energy. And of course, around the Magician card, which we had in the other little section here. That Magician card also tells me that you have some choices. There's more communication. There's mental shifts. Gemini is more of a mental energy here as well. So overall, I do feel like there is something that speaks to you being on your soul is moving through some kind of a threshold moment. You're being asked to leave, behind those illusions of helplessness and all the things that you kind of take away from your power. And this is more of a co-creative power, especially with that Magician energy. You're not being punished for all the stuff that you had to go through. I mean, this is you shedding skins that no longer belong to you. You've moved into a new space. You were never meant to fit into a structure, couldn't sort of, that was so small. Now you're being rebuilt in some way, and it had to sort of break you open to see that you had certain competencies or capabilities. So there's also something here about embracing the unknown. And I feel like because we have that card of, like I said, the World, the King of Wands, visionary, lots of magician, all of that coming out here. There's just a lot of energy here, and the Death card, these are big energies. And I feel like that Tower is really another card that indicates that you are liberating yourself, something. Um, you know, there's big, and it's a very protected